Welcome back to the Kirk Miller podcast. Today I have another monster of a guest. I say it every time a guest is on, but this man is even just looking at this man's face. I know that sounds a bit weird if you listen to this on audio. Maybe quite insulting, Gregg, isn't it? But Gregg Marriott is one of the best nutritionists in the world. But the story we're going to unpack today alongside that is really one of the most inspirational stories that I've been fortunate enough to come across. So first and foremost, Gregg, mate,
Thank you.
welcome to London. Welcome to the Kirk Miller podcast.
Good man. Appreciate
And
having
I
me.
really appreciate your time in advance, mate, because I know you were stuck in traffic this morning for a while.
Yeah, I don't mind the commute. It's just the traffic. So
Exactly. But we haven't known each other that long,
no,
have we? When was it before the buy event through
just before.
Dom?
Yeah, just before.
I think it was, yeah, because we had obviously the legend
We had a few
himself.
chats on WhatsApp, and I was thinking this last week before I came here, and I thought to myself, you meet people in life, and they walk in and out your life, for a reason. Some people get dropped straight away, and they're just for, a second for a meaning. But you come across people like yourself. I'm not just saying this. It struck a chord straight away with you, and it's rare to find that. Like we can sit all day, and it's just like it just clicks, it just works. There's no fillers. There has to be no fillers. There can be silence. There's no awkwardness, and it's a rare find.
No,
So
I appreciate that. The feeling was mutual. I think the same as well with obviously Domingo, one of your great friends, and even Barry, Kid Callahan.
Yeah.
It's just you boys. There's just an authenticity about you, and maybe as well, it's similar backgrounds as well with just sort of working class and having to grind your way
Yeah.
to where you are now. But I know you won't forgive me for saying this. I mean, Gregg's had phenomenal ups and obviously had some monumental challenges on a personal front, physical front, mental front. Um, but obviously on the front end, a lot of people now, if they look at your social media and your reputation as from a professional status, Gregg, you were the man, am I right in saying, that was behind the Tyson, the great Tyson Fury's weight drop, wasn't it? You know, when
Yeah.
he lost
Correct.
his way. How much did he lose in the end?
About 9 stone.
About 9 stones. So yeah,
Yeah.
Gregg's the nutrition guru. I mean, I won't that word nutrition guru isn't dished out easy, but Gregg, is genuinely a phenomenon in what he does, and yeah, you were the man behind Tyson's weight drop, so I'm sure that grabbed a lot of attention. I mean, because just if we kick off with that to start with, mate, I know we've got a lot more to unpack, but obviously there's probably a lot of boxing fans that tune into this, a lot of sports fans, and there's not too many people just now, unless you're completely oblivious to the world of sport, that probably haven't heard of Tyson Fury and probably aren't aware of his struggles with drugs,
Yeah.
booze, mental health, etc., etc. So how did that come about? Because I know, as you'll unpack, you've out boxers like Cal Brook and things like
Yeah.
that, but Tyson Fury, how did that come about?
So obviously, Kell Brook, I worked with him. The first ever camp I did with Kell Brook were when he beat Sean Porter for the world title fight.
Yeah.
And I begged Dominic. I begged him. I said, "Let me work on Kell. Let me work on Kell." No. Listen, no. I'm like, we've got someone that says, "Let me do it.
Yeah.
Let me do it." And it's not that it's it's very, very hard to understand people. It's either you've either got it or you haven't. I've been born with a gift, and it's to understand everybody. Some people you just don't get along. I can get along with anybody. I know how people work. 10 minutes with somebody, I put them in a category. Boom, you're right there. That's where this is going to make you tick. I'm going to say the right things to you, so we get that connection, and then we're on fire. I can do it with anybody.
Why do you think that is?
I've no idea. It's just
Was that from an early age
yeah,
you realised that?
yeah, and it's not having confidence or anything. Because I didn't have much confidence when I was younger at all. Being 10 stone and 6'3", no confidence. Getting bullied, no confidence. It's just there's something that I've always had, and I never.
Do you think, mate? I mean, I know we're going to diverse multiple times throughout this
Yeah.
episode. Do you think that your ability to care and understand people came about because of your lack of confidence and maybe not being seen, felt, and heard sometimes yourself? That you just felt that you wanted to understand people because maybe you weren't understood.
Never something I've really thought about. I mean, maybe, but it ADHD, I don't think I've got that. OCD, clinically diagnosed, 14-year-old with that. Child psychiatrist, hospitals, you name it. So an obsession I have, but then the obsession comes with everything. It's a gift. I'm obsessed with everything. If I'm telling you something, it's 100% right. So it's also a curse. When you go to bed at night time, you never switch off. If something's grating on you, it's why is that? You have to understand why. So it's the obsession about wanting to understand people, why are they like that, what makes them tick. It's an obsession, but it's just a gift as well because it just comes so naturally. So I worked with Kel Brooke. I believed in my own ability. Never done anybody like that in my life. Work on the job, understand the character.
And that was his biggest fight, wasn't it? That was the fight that made him, because he was expected to get turned over by Porter in US in his own backyard.
I said, Kel, please let me work with you. And he said, Dom, I want Gregg. Do not let me down. Do not. You best know what you're doing. Don't worry. One of the best camps of his entire life. Won that world title fight. And then it was, I know what I'm doing. It's just easy. It was just in nutrition. Anything I do, I put my mind to, because I'm 100 or nothing. Don't give 60%. Give 100 or nothing. The 95% is when I'm having a break, having a coffee just to recharge for 5 minutes. I'm 100 or nothing. So that's why I'm so successful. So I worked with Kel Brooke, obviously, and then fight to fight. People obviously thinking, wow, Kel Brooke is in amazing shape, and he's, so it rubs off. Other boxers were getting in touch, and then obviously Billy Joe Saunders knocked on the door, come to the Ingle gym, and the story behind that was not so much, and no disrespect for saying this, he told me this himself, not so much because of the Ingle gym. The Ingle gym, coming to the Ingle gym was just a bonus, he said. He wanted to know how and why Kel Brooke's in this shape and who got him there. Found out it was me, come to the gym, got on board with Billy Joe Saunders. First camp with Willie Monroe. It was obviously always going to be a struggle because he was a big weight. Got down, did the fight, then it was on to the next one for Little Mew over in Canada, Toronto.
And that was his biggest fight as well.
The best performance of one of the masterclass I've seen in boxing.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
And Billy Joe Saunders, am I right in saying, was someone who, another one who'd always struggled with his weight, horrendous habits from his upbringing and all that type of stuff.
So hard work.
So it weren't like a Cal Brock, with the greatest respect. I know what you did with Cal was phenomenal, but Cal isn't. I've never seen a boxer with genetics like it. I mean, he's
ridiculous, gifted genetics.
Yeah,
Billy Joe Saunders
still got to do the work, but Billy
genetics.
Joe certainly wasn't. Right?
No, so he had to work harder to get to that level.
Yeah.
So obviously he did the big fight, and then Tyson Fury came along because they're friends in Toronto. Spoke to me.
Was this when Tyson was?
Yes.
Heaviest. I mean,
yes.
Describe that. I mean, what was he like? I mean, because he looked an absolute.
I've met him before, but obviously
crash.
not at the size he was. He walked through the door, and I'm just like, wow, like this is just a monstrosity. What is this? And then straight away, I'm like, I could do something here. I could, I just said to him, Tyson, I'll get you back in ring. And it was just a bit of a fun. We'd had a steak dinner, everyone around. He was still obviously a big icon. And that was it. He just said, "Let's do something."
Yeah.
The fight ended. We went back home. Said goodbye, and then the call came through. Do you want to work with Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
And I wasn't even. I was like, "That's fine. Yeah, let's do it." And it just went from there.
Yeah.
Moved into a camp, and 9 stone later, got him back.
What was the biggest challenge with that to start with? Because I know even though Tyson Fury, of course, elite athlete. And there's a lot of people listening to this who are entrepreneurs, business owners, everyday people. But what was the biggest challenge for someone like that who was so out of shape, so overweight? What was it first and foremost getting him clear from a mindset perspective, habits? Where do you start with someone like that?
I mean, Ben Davison did a great job, obviously staying in camp with him as his trainer, almost babysitter. But when you're a nutritionist, to get somebody, he can train hard, Tyson. That's in him. He's the gypsy. He's the gypsy king. They work hard. They train hard. But for Tyson, it was the understanding of food, having to explain why I'm doing everything. Constant questions. This, what about this? What about this? That was the hardest thing. Constantly, what about this? What about this? Oh, I don't want that. Don't like this. So it was he couldn't see it because it wasn't tangible. As
But I mean, you know what? I find baffling with that. I mean, this is mental because obviously before obviously he lost his way after the Klitschko fight. Up to that point, obviously he was still an athlete. Look, he's never had a world class body or anything like that,
no,
but he was still obviously doing something with his food to maintain athletic performance, if nothing else. How, how was he even doing that? If obviously his knowledge was that
probably starving himself.
okay,
Probably old school mentality,
yeah,
like they all do, but a phenomenal talent.
yeah,
And with the heavyweight, not having to make a weight,
yes.
that's probably where that comes from.
And I suppose his output's that high that is always going to be in athletic shape from his training alone. But what's crazy with that, and it just shows you how talented he is,
Mm.
that even without no nutritional really input up to that point, he's beat Klitschko without no nutritional
Yeah.
knowledge, but just being that good at boxing and physically fit,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fucking madness. So how quickly did he start to shift?
It took a long time. It took about 8 months.
I mean, but how
It
much?
was
What was the
incremental.
total weight drop though? Because that's that. You say a long time. I mean, how much weight? I mean, what was it? 10 stone or something?
Not over 8 months. About 8.5, 9 stone.
That's a ridiculous amount of weight in
Yeah.
that period, though.
Did his two comeback fights, and then the job was done. I remember walking out to the ring, and the entourage was just. It was like queuing up for next sale.
Yeah,
It were insane. Like
Yeah.
1,000 people walking him out.
Yeah.
For me, just don't need any of that. Obviously, it's a big comeback. It's all about Tyson.
Yeah.
No one cares about the trainer. No one cares about the nutritionist. It's about him.
Yeah.
So he said, "Get up on ring, Gregg. Get up on ring." And I got up on ring, and I thought, "What's happening here? Everyone trying to get the face on camera." And I just got down off the ring, and I went and sat in the changing room and watched the fight.
Really?
But yeah,
You watched that? You watched his
in the
comeback fight
changing
in
room.
the changing room? Why?
Because I just thought, what? No disrespect, a lot of angers on.
Okay.
A lot of people trying to get on camera, and I thought, I don't want to be that person.
Okay.
I'm not. My job is done. Tyson knows in his mind what
Mm.
I've done for him
Mm.
to get him there, as well as obviously other people.
Mm.
That's it for me. When he goes to bed at night,
Mm.
Gregg did that. Yeah, Gregg did this. Gregg did that. That's all I need to know.
Mm.
I'm not interested in anyone's opinion or see me on camera.
Mm.
My job's finished at that point, and then it's all about Tyson, not who stood outside at ring, but so they can wave at the mom.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And then
I've been brought up that way though.
Yeah. And then afterwards, was there any maintenance work with him to do on that? Because I know obviously we've whipped the weight off.
He said he wanted to be more athletic. I said, right, we're gonna have to go a bit further, But then obviously the whole conversation coming with that. I need more fuel. I need more this. A lot of the people in his ears. Obviously Tyson's back. Everyone's talking. You need to do this. Need to do this. Need to do this. Need to do this.
Yeah, too many cooks.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then, not saying it spoiled the broth. Obviously it didn't. But that's where everything's kind of getting a bit jockeying for position.
Yeah.
My job had been done.
Yeah.
Maintain. You can go and eat yourself now, Tyson. You're that weight.
Mm.
You've been doing it for 9 months. You're not silly. You can do this yourself now.
Yeah.
My job's finished there.
Yeah. What? Just with the professional boxers. I mean, I'm just so conscious of time. I could keep you for 3 hours. I'm gonna get kicked off and get told off by the studio guys. What is the difference between trying to get a elite level boxer in shape and general pox? I know you and Domingo have done some amazing work with some guys, dropping fat. What's the difference?
Time.
Tell me more.
Time. So, regular Joe, you look at them and you say, fair enough, we'll be realistic. Obviously, look at the accountability, look at what their output is, look at the diet, look at the lifestyle, the family, everything, the work times, everything has to be taken into consideration. This is a realistic time scale for you. When you get people, boxers, I've got a 10-week camp. You got 3 stone to lose. It's like something's got to have to give here.
Yeah.
Some performance is going to have to give.
Yeah.
Because you've got to get to a weight. So I always say to people, you've probably got 7 good rounds in you, 8 good rounds. Trying to tell the trainer that? No, we don't listen to you.
Because they want to hear from you. This guy's going to get in peak condition, say drop 2 or 3
rounds.
stone,
Not gonna happen.
and optimize performance in a calorie deficit. As I've said, even to a lot of my clients, there'll be some of the guys listening to this. It is impossible to drop fat and get ripped quick and optimize performance. And there is so much horse shit out there.
Just be consistent.
And bearing in mind as well, Gregg, Dom, you guys have worked with elite level boxers where you've got they can optimize recovery.
Yep.
All they have to think
Yep.
about is training. All they have to think
They get
about
fed.
is their next meal.
They get coffees.
Yeah.
They just lay there and just train.
Yeah, so this is like elite level athlete, let alone the average Joe or the average entrepreneur who's got a business and kids and traveling to think about.
To go to the school of life is the best education I've ever got in my entire life, especially in boxing, because it's the most rat race, craziest, unprofessional professional sport in the world.
Yeah, tell me more about that. What? I mean, I know obviously there's a lot of stories. I want to unpack. You told me there's nothing off bad.
Nothing off.
Like, because I mean, even we were joking before we kicked off this episode. Terence Crawford the other day, and he said it's the most corrupt sport there is. And this is like a guy who's just obviously smashed Errol Spence. He's the pound for pound king, and he just said, I think he said something like he was offered there was a 5 million purse on the fights, and he found out it was actually a 30 million, but the 25 million was patted down. It's like
it's crazy. It's crazy. If you're not at the top, don't do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got to get to the top, but if you're not, if you were to be realistic to yourself, am I going to go to the top? And you think, am I good enough to get to the top? Really? If you've not got that passion and that unbelievable drive every single morning, I'm going to make it. I'm either going to sink or swim. I want it as bad as I can breathe. Then don't do it.
Really?
Do not do it.
Yeah. And bearing in mind, you've saw obviously one of your great friends, and obviously Barry, Kid Galahad. I remember when you guys did the talk. So anyone listening, Dom, Barry, and Gregg, you spoke at our last event, and it was one of the best talks I've ever witnessed. I mean, our clients still talk about this today, but I remember Barry Kidd, what he said. He bearing in mind he was in the boxing gym, wasn't it, from 6 or 7, and just the drive, the dedication, the sacrifice, and he had a knockback or two on the way. What he had to do
that's great though,
was unbelievable. But how many people have got the mindset like that to go to that level? And you're saying
what you need.
That's a minimum requirement to get
set up for life now. Is money.
Yeah,
set up for life.
Yeah, but think of the delayed gratification he's had to do for that.
But what is it? 34, 34-year-old. No disrespect, but I see 34-year-old men right now stood on a street corner or driving in the car, 6 stone overweight, on a vape. Like, grow up. Like what are you doing? Like, you're 34-year-old. My vape's bigger than yours.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. 34-year-old. Yeah. There's never too late to start. Ever too late to start. 27-year-old. I thought I'd know everything. Yeah. Or never been on dole in my life. I have worked job after job after job. I had to work on a building site for £162 being a labourer after I did a dry lining course.
What age was this?
So I was. I'll tell you the story. It's easy to tell the whole story, and we'll go through all the scenarios, and you'll pick up at different things. But let's not try and go off on a tangent. We are limited, right? So 13-year-old. And you just interrupt whenever you want. 13-year-old.
No, Greg, this is great.
The coffee's kicked in. I'd like another one, please. Okay, so 13-year-old. I've always been. Can you say this? The black sheep of the family. Let's just say.
So do you have how many brothers, sisters? Elaborate.
2 brothers.
Okay.
But the odd one out. I've always been the odd one out.
In what way?
Just. I don't conform. I don't want to do it that way. I think there's a better way. Yeah. Not really naughty, just mischievous. So 13-year-old, long story short, my nan dies. I saw him getting put to the ground. Something weren't quite right with that at 13-year-old. Something weren't quite right with seeing someone going to the ground who you love. Straight away from there, just washing my hands. Then it got to a point where I couldn't move. I couldn't stand anyone saying death to me. Any pictures of coffins or funerals or anything bad, smoking, anything that was bad in the world was completely. I was against. I couldn't have anyone say death to my face. I'd have to look at a part of my skin and do this ritual, and I'd spit at the TV. Then my dad would go crazy. What are you doing? Like, poor. It was absolutely horrific. You see these programs where there's people really bad with Tourette's and OCD. I was 10 times worse than them, I promise you. I couldn't move off a chair for 20 minutes doing this, touching that, and then doing this and doing it. It's laughable, And I knew I was doing it. I was very conscious, but I felt like it was an impulsion that I had to do, and it took over my life. It took over my life till I was 18-year-old. Put it that way.
How? Yeah. So did that affect friendships,
Try
relationships?
everything. Couldn't go to school. They said I got. They said the school come back and said he's a schizophrenic, and the psychiatrist says no, he's not. I had to be on 3 Prozac a day.
Yeah.
60 milligram of Prozac a day at 13-year-old. That's harsh, and it didn't do anything. Nothing. Didn't touch me. So my mum couldn't cope. Obviously, there was strain there. I understand. Brothers were taking piss out of me, doing things to antagonise this impulsion because they thought it was funny. They're young.
You don't know any of that. I get
They
it.
don't.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And back in the day, this was not known, really, like it is nowadays. There weren't things in place to see. I was just a kid who was naughty at school, got kicked out of school, couldn't go to school, doing these ticks in class. I get bullied, and it was terrible. So anyway, I got a job across the road, £1.50 an hour, to put my mind on it. And my mum took me across the road.
What job was it?
Stacking shelves.
Mm-hmm.
This convenience store was the best looking convenience store on planet Earth. There's a film, and it's got Julia Roberts in it. I forget the name of it. And there's a guy and he's obsessive compulsive disorder, and he's got everything lined up. You should have seen that shop. Every can and packet of crisp and chocolate bar was absolutely perfect across every single shelf. So they were always in competition with the shop across the road. So they'd have spies come in and see how much things cost, and they'd come in, they'd be like, look at this shop. Every time someone bought something, I'd run into it back, get another bag of crisps or something, and put it in its place. They love me. £1.50 an hour on a Saturday and a Sunday.
Yeah.
3 hours a day. And then the shop across the road said, we'll have you for £2 an hour.
So they're competing. Like,
I loved it because it was, I'll show them what I can do. I used the curse as a gift.
Yes.
That's where the work ethic kicked in.
Okay.
That's where I've got work ethic. My dad, very, very militant man. Very. You get up, you do really, really push it into it. Not one of us had one day off school, only where I were ill. Not one of us missed a day.
Mm.
We were ill, you get to school. They'll send you home. That's where the work ethic come from. So anyway, moving on. Me and my dad didn't have the best relationship at all. Obviously, because of that. My dad was very like, I'll sort him out. He's not going to a psychiatrist. I had to, but it was a very bad strain. So when I get to 18, I rebelled against him. I met this girl. She got pregnant. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a dad.
You weren't ready for that, clearly.
Not ready. I'm still having these tics. Yeah, I'm still not over this. And don't forget, I believed in Father Christmas till I was 15-year-old. My mum had to tell me on the way back from this migraine centre that Santa wasn't real. I didn't speak to her for 3 days. 15-year-old, I was still asking for toys off Santa Claus.
How did you not have like friends and people
Yeah,
go?
It's your mum and dad. It's not. But my mum's kept saying it's not. So you believe your mum and dad. That's all you believe when you're kids.
Of course.
Your mum and dad are that's what you believe.
Yeah.
You can shape someone so much.
Yeah, you can.
That's what I believed. Santa Claus exists at 15. I have Matchbox cars and figures. Now, what they're doing now, they're buying weed and alcohol and all sorts of stuff at 15.
Yeah.
It's the times.
Yeah.
So I was very, very young-minded. So 18, what's that? Not 18, sorry, tell a lie. It was about 20 when she was pregnant. I tell a lie, sorry. So I thought, this is it. And then her sisters decided to say, you have an abortion, it's not the right time. That happened. And then we had a year out, got back together, and she fell pregnant again. I was like, oh, this is it now. I'm having a child. I worked at this distribution magazine factory, working 2 jobs, coming home, working bartending at night, getting bullied there and back. People gave me headlocks, tall, skinny. I'd been blonde hair. I think, nightmare. People always taking piss. Just carried on, grafting. Got to get this house, got to get this money, got to get this car. I'm a child, one of the best days of my life. We've got a good relationship, me and her ex, but she became a mother. Only. She became a mother.
Okay.
Which was great. One of the best moms, but not enough space for me.
Okay.
So the relationship got really hard. I had to go out to work. I was driving to jobs to do labouring. I was going crazy. I took a £3,000 loan out to do a dry lining course. Did that, earning £800 a week. Then recession hit, and I was just doing everything crazy. Just any job I could whatsoever.
And during this time, there was you with gym and nutrition was totally off the radar.
Yeah, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. Never stepped foot in gym.
Yeah.
Never. So Burger King, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, KFC. I've done everything. I can't. We don't have to do another podcast for these stories. Crazy stories. So we decided to have another child to make things better. That's what you do.
Obviously.
She had 6 miscarriages, an ectopic pregnancy, and then got pregnant with my son.
Yeah.
All I ever wanted was a son.
Yeah.
And my son, on the scan, didn't have no bladder and no kidneys.
Yeah.
So he had to be stillborn.
Yeah.
So that was really hard.
Yeah.
That was really, really, really hard. And having to have stillborn and us arguing, and then some of the side of the family said it's all your fault, and I know it wasn't, but that didn't matter to me. My son knows now, looking down at me, what it meant to me. So I had to have the funeral, carry the coffin. I did everything.
Well, you're mid-20s at this point, maybe?
23.
Yeah. So it's young.
23,
Yeah.
very young. Having to go through that, wow. A lot of these thoughts came back from OCD, because obviously I'm in a stressful situation. And then I just thought, I can't do this. So I don't believe, no disrespect, in a clinical, you just get depressed. I think you think your way into a depression, and you can think your way out of it. Anyone who's out there who's depressed or they're down, you think your way into depression. You do. You don't just wake up and depressed. You don't. It has to start with a thought. You can think your way out of it. Believe me, you now. I'm living proof you can think your way out of it. And you can be anything you want to be. Anything in life. I don't care what walk of life you are from. These amazing stories you see on films and cinemas. They're real stories. And I'm living proof. So that's my son. And I took a year out. We split up. We had to. It was too much water under the bridge.
Yeah, of course. It's so much emotional damage.
Good friends still.
Yeah.
Had my daughter 4 or 5 days a week at my mum's house. Couldn't change a nappy. Didn't know what we're doing. Met a girl in a bar downtown named Zalika, and 17 years later, still together.
Amazing.
Three kids. Yeah. Unreal woman.
Yeah.
She only lives for me. It's insane. When it's a birthday or make a wish on a wishbone, what do you wish for? She went, I'm not telling her. So I want to know what you always wish for. You never tell me. She went, I wish for your dreams to come true.
Why do you
because I know that everything you wish for is for the family and the better for us. Yeah. I don't need no wishes.
Yeah.
Do you know that's only one wish? Honestly, it's insane.
Yeah.
So I found the woman of my dreams. I watched Desperado as a kid, Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek. I want that woman. I want a woman looking like that. That's what I want. Subconsciously always been in my mind. Found her. When I saw her, look, all my friends tried to get her. I'm like, wow. I'm no good. I can't have that. Me, how I am, is not compatible with that.
Was that a belief?
Massive.
From the lack of confidence from a kid.
And then all of a sudden, I just thought, but because I wanted someone like Salma Hayek, that's been instilled in me since I was a child.
Yeah.
When you're going through testosterone, you're thinking, ooh, that's what I wanted. That's what I got.
And who did you have to become to make that happen?
Nothing. Just me. I attracted it. The law of attraction is unreal. Yeah. Everyone talks about it, but to put it into your life as a discipline is a very, very different story. Yeah. That's what I did. Met my wife. Now, unreal. She gets caught pregnant while she was on the pill. I make her take the pill every single morning.
Okay.
How's
that work?
There's something downstairs that's just super. It's insane. And I'm not talking about the tool. I'm talking about... It's insane. It's insane. I've had to have the snip. Like completely took up. You might as well just castrate me, because it's just like you can wave it around, someone gets pregnant. It's insane. All right? So she gets pregnant on pill.
You're a mad guy. Anyone listening to this is probably Tyson Fury, Vibe Attraction Tribe. Tyson Fury's mental, so are you.
She gets pregnant.
Yeah.
With my son.
Yeah.
Obviously it's replacing my son. In my head. Mm-hmm. This is hard for me to understand. Mm-hmm. My son comes along, it all changes. This is great. Let's try again. 6 weeks later, everything's fine. Let's get back to a normal bedroom routine. I'm that way. We're men. Let's go to bed tonight. Are we all right? Straight away, boom, pregnant again. Mm-hmm. Obviously, she's fertile, but she's pregnant straight away again. We wanted kids close together.
I get it.
But we're close. She's pregnant again with my daughter. Best time of my life. 2 kids, absolutely flying. I'm still working, trying to do construction, different things. I'm working on. Now it comes back to the first story that I'm going to tell you. I was picking for £162 a week. Come out with 3 children and a house to run and a car. £162 a week.
What job was that?
Picking dog shit up off a building site. Picking guard dogs dog shit up off a building site. I've had great jobs. I've had a lot of money. I had to do it. People, get up here now and get this door up here. Nah, I didn't labourer. Looking like a piece of shit. But I did it.
Yeah.
I had to do it. I wasn't going to rebel and I don't want to do that. 'Cause what else were I going to do? I had to look after my
You're
children.
stuck. Yeah, I get it.
Do it. Just do it. My dad, just do it. That's not bad. I've won the lottery from there, from being 15, not be able to move off the couch and going to a psychiatrist, to picking dog shit off a building site. I've won lottery. We have a bit of a free mind and 3 kids.
Yeah.
And a partner.
Yeah.
So it's carried on. Absolutely great. Recession it. Everybody's done. No health and safety. You need the CSCS card. You need this. You need that. I thought, oh, what's happening? I said, oh God, I'll do anything. I worked in a bakery.
Yeah.
I worked in a bakery doing vanilla slices and scones. I was the best vanilla slice maker in the entire planet. I swear. They were the straightest, smoothest vanilla slice you can ever see in your entire life. Worked there, training with Dominic Ingle.
How did that come about with Dom?
Can you train me?
So were you aware of Don? I was guessing
Yeah.
Sheffield's a small place, right? It's
Kept going to the gym after we split up. Me and my ex went to the gym. I need to put some size on. Probably a confidence thing. I was skinny, getting bullied. Obviously, that came from that. Let's get to the gym. Let's move some weights. Did it all wrong. A tin of rice pudding for a train and a flapjack and grow up. Did it all wrong. Met Dom. Will you train me? No. Will you train me? No. 6 months. Will you train me? No. You're a joke. You're a fat kid. You're just out of shape. You're a joke. Not fat, but just out of shape. He ain't got a clue what you're doing. He took a chance on me. He says, be down here for 9:30. I said, I can't. I finish work at 10 o'clock. He says, you can't train then. I went to work. I says, can I not have a break and finish at 9:30? I said, Dom, I says, I can. I says, but I can't have a break at work. I says, I'll be here for 20 to 10. For 15 months straight, I never missed one session with Dominic. He thought he were going to break me and send me home. I'm unbreakable. He didn't break me.
Yeah.
You asked Dominic this question. Every single session I was there. He's thinking, he's coming back. Tried to absolutely ruin me. I couldn't move. If I were ill, if I got flu, I were there. I were training. Because that's the opportunity. I saw the opportunity, and it's like you give a grain of sand. You either dig yourself an hole or build yourself a beach. I saw the opportunity. I thought, right, this is it. I didn't know I don't need to know where it's going to go. I just know that this is a step in a better direction than what I've been.
And how helpful was Don?
Mentored me in training, mentored me in basic nutrition at the start. Follow the diet to a T. Stick to this diet, Gregg. No problem. Stuck to the diet, changed it. Anyway, one day after 14 months of training, do you want to go and get a coffee? I want a boxing shorts. I went, I can't have a coffee. He went, what do you mean? I went, it's not on my diet sheet. For 14 months, the only liquid to pass my lips was water. Not orange juice, not a cup of tea, not nothing.
Because it weren't on the diet plan.
That's what he said. He didn't say to do that, did he?
So what did
He's got these boxers in insane shape, and they're champions. I want to be in champion in myself. So it's not on the diet sheet. He couldn't believe that. He went, yeah, but you didn't say that, though.
I mean, Dom hopefully Dom's listening back to this. I mean, Dom must have thought, what the fuck is going on here, man? You don't even
he likes that. It's like, well, at least tell him what to do.
Yeah, cool. So Dom would find that humorous, I've known.
So then he'd say, right, Gregg, I want you to go and take Barry here. I've got a kid on at this show.
Yeah.
Get to Barry's house at this time, get his shorts, his gum shield, and bring him to venue. Because he knew that it was faultless what I'd do.
And you were reliable.
Correct.
Yes. So you
Punctual.
started getting involved then with just helping him out of the. Were you in the corner?
Yeah, that's come from my 100 or nothing. That's come from my work ethic. That's come from the installation as a kid. If
You
you're
can be
going to do
trusted.
something,
Yeah,
do
you can
something
be trusted.
properly.
Yeah, of course.
Don't, you know. So, so got into boxing and still training, and then all of a sudden, I've got something wrong with my leg. What's something wrong with? No, yeah, I have. And I remember this pain getting worse in my hip, and I went to school. I went to work one day, and it was insane, this pain, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, 2:50, and all of a sudden, this massive snap in my leg. Boom, fell to the floor. Vanilla slices didn't get done that day. Well, they weren't going to get done, and I was in absolute agony. Unbeknownst to me, my femur had snapped.
Was this in the bakery?
Yeah, my femur had snapped. It takes
Okay.
400 kilo of pressure to snap a femur. There's a cancer growing inside my femur that's been there for 10 years that split my femur. The pain was it was ridiculous. It was unreal pain. All I could do was just crawl around this bakehouse. But because I'm a bit of a class clown and a joke, get up. I said, I can't. They propped me up.
So they thought you were joking,
They knew something had gone wrong.
but they thought you were vamping it up.
For 3 hours, I propped myself up for 3 hours with a broken femur and finished the scones and the vanilla slices off before I went home.
Fucking hell.
Because I knew that was going to be my last ever day there. I knew it. This is it. This is me get out of jail free card. I ain't coming back here. I know that something serious has happened. This is my turn in my life. I knew that. I went home, never went back since. Obviously went to doctors. We're 99% sure it's not cancer. 99.9% sure it's not cancer. That's a worldwide specialist who's an oncologist. I go home thinking I want lottery. I know I can't train. I know I've got to have a hip operation. I've got to have a new hip. I know it's going to be scraped out. It's going to be a long process. But I've won lottery. Did a biopsy. Came back. 0.1% this makes up of all cancers. It's a clear cell chondrosarcoma. Slow growing. Very deadly. But has to have limb salvation or bone salvation to get rid of it. Chemo, nothing else works. I had to have all my femur out, all my hip out, all my muscle halfway down my leg. 27-year-old, and I know you have some more questions, so I'm really gonna accelerate here. Sat in a chair, and this is what everybody needs to listen to. And I get emotional because I'm so strong about this. So I'm sat in the chair. I've had 5 operations. I had a dislocation. I had to have it redone because it popped out, and then I had to have it done again because they thought it had come back with cancer. Then I had to have it done again because it was bone degradation. In 10 years, they said I'll lose my leg. That's what they said because I'm going through these are supposed to last you 15 to 20 years. These legs, I've had 5 in 11. There's not much more they can do. Okay, so I'm very, 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 very. If I slip, boom, it's not good. I'm in pain daily. We've spoke about this. Yeah. Like pain, what is unbearable. I'm in that at least 3 times, 3 times a week. It's not good. I've had every MRI. It is what it is. I live with that now. I'm sat in the chair, 27-year-old. What do I do with my life? Actually, I was 27. October 3rd, I got cancer. I found out for the operation. What do I do with my life now? I'm sat in the chair, this orthopedic chair, what my cousin bought me. It was a second-hand thing for about 25 quid. It had to be Queen Elizabeth, and it had to be raised so high for me to be at a 90-degree parallel angle, so I didn't dislocate. Couldn't move. My wife had to poo in a tray. My wife had to wipe me. Wife had to wipe me up. I was deemed to not a man. Couldn't do a thing for myself. I had to sleep in that chair. I couldn't do anything. Couldn't walk. So I remember my wife coming into the kitchen, from the kitchen to the living room, and she was crying. And she said, "Gregg," I said, "What's the matter?" She went, "We haven't even got enough money. We had 80 pence to his name. I went £12,000 to debt. We had 80 pence to his name." She went, "I can't even buy utterly butterly," which is margarine,
I remember, yeah,
to put on the kids' bread. We're 20 pence short. She was crying. I went, and I swear with all my might, I said, I'm a godly man. I swear to Jesus, I said to my partner, I looked her in the eyes, I said, "Zalika, I promise you, I'm going to change our life. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to change my life." Watch what I do. I had no idea what I was going to do, how I was going to do it, but at that point, it couldn't have got any worse. I didn't know if I'd got a year left, 2 years. I didn't know. I said, "I'm going to change our life." Because in the dark times and the dark spaces where you are so low, that's where growth takes place. That is where real growth takes place. I didn't think my way into depression. I got put there. I thought my way out of it. So anybody who's going through anything can think their way out of it.
How did you think your way out of it?
Just believed. And then someone introduced me to The Secret. And that's how daft it sounds. Law of Attraction.
That was the first personal development book that I had.
I read that book and I thought, do you know what? It don't come from any faith and every religion. It really doesn't. Which I liked. Even though I'm a godly man, I'm a Christian. I like that about it because it's universal. And I read the book and I thought, even if it didn't work, that way of life, to be humble and appreciative, is key, is number one. It's going to make me have a different outlook on life. That totally shifted my paradigm. That episode shifted my paradigm. That's what you got to do, change your paradigm. If people don't know what that is, it's just what's built you to today. Your environmental factors, your mum and dad, anything that's deep in, that's set in. You have to change that paradigm. Forget it, it's gone, it's past. This is the future. Boom, change. Be a new person from today. That's what I did. From there, I said to Dom, what am I going to do in my life? You'll be all right. Why don't you become a nutritionist? I said, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. He went, you'll be all right. And give me my first job. That's when I got Kel. And then I just took it to a high. What was just, I shouldn't have done what I have done. There's people out there now who are going to keep doing the same thing until they're 70-year-old, 80-year-old. And that's a travesty. It is a travesty.
Why do you think people do so?
Because again, well, this has happened, that's happened. It's happened, it's finished. Because I train and get myself into this state. You have to understand that at some point in your life, I was in the car park and I said, right, I'm going to be the number one nutritionist in game. I'm going to be the number one nutritionist in game. This. I'm going to top up pile in boxing. I'm going to do it. Tyson Fury got the call. Boom. Where am I today?
But you're saying if you didn't even have that belief or put it out there, then you've got nothing to aspire to.
Correct.
Because you're going to have to you have to think about stuff in life anyway.
Everything
you have to focus on stuff.
Before you get your thought, you're thinking, is he going to phone? It's a thought. Everything's a thought. A thought has a frequency. A thought has matter. That has an effect. You have to think about, what time is it? We've still got time left. That thought has to register first. It all comes with a thought. You think your way into depression, you think yourself out of it. Trust me. And then from there, I mentally get myself ready and keep myself focused and physically in a good place, because at some point, me and my dad have got the unreal relationship now. He's my best friend.
And how has that changed from as a child? Because you said at the time that was pretty tough. You had some.
It was tough.
So what's changed?
The way he handled me, the way that I've seen other people boxing. I understand. I'm a dad now, and it's hard work. What I was going through, there's no rule book.
No, and at that time, he's trying to do the best for
you
based on his beliefs and upbringing and resources and
house.
I get it.
My mum was a stay-at-home housewife. He's got a lot. That man had a lot of stress. I understand that.
But as a kid, you don't appreciate.
Of course, you don't.
No, you don't.
And now I look back, and he's my best friend. He's the only person on planet Earth I can trust. Not that I can't trust my wife, but she might, in passing, have a red wine and say, "Oh," and not realise she's supposed to have said something. My dad is like me. He's just. Everything is absolutely bang on solid. He takes something to his grave. He's my best friend. And one day, I've got to keep myself in a mental place. I've got to put myself, tipping the scales in the right direction, because one day I'm going to get the phone call. It's going to be 1 o'clock in the morning. And they're going to say, there's not long left. He's got his last few hours. You understand?
Yes.
And if I'm not mentally ready at that point to handle that, because there's only one way you leave this planet, and that's death. Now, it's the same concept. Everybody, and if you come from a school of faith, this is universal. If you want a good body, you have to work hard for it. Trust me. You have to work hard for a good body. You can't buy it.
No. You have to work even harder to keep a good body.
Everybody wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die. It's the same concept. When I get that phone call and my parents are taking their last breath, I have to be mentally ready for that. That's coming whether we like it or not.
Yeah, it's true.
It's put us burying it in its hand and thinking, oh, you're going to get depressed. you're going to think yourself into depression, and it's hard to get out of it. I need to be mentally ready so when that day comes, that I can handle it, that I can be a dad, I can be a husband, and I can still be there for either of the parent as a son. I've got to keep the cart on the tracks.
Yeah.
Because realistically, 95% out of people in that environment don't. You have to be the one that keeps the cart on the tracks. You have to be. Everyone else is going to fall apart. And the sad thing is, I see so many people this happens to, and honestly, my heart goes out to everyone who's lost a parent. I haven't yet, everybody. But I see so many people, as parents die, and their sons and daughters die with them, but they're still living. And that is one of the worst things that can possibly happen in life. For me.
Yeah. That's madness.
That's why I keep myself how I am, mentally switched on.
What do you do? What do you do, Greg? Because obviously you've come from, and what I like about your story is you obviously look after yourself now with your mindset, your body, your nutrition. And don't get me wrong, it's tied into your profession, so that sort of helps. But equally, I also know a lot of nutritionists and coaches out there who are frauds and not in shape and don't look after themselves, and they might put the posts out portraying they do what they're asking clients to do and prospects, etc. But you haven't come from an identity of training and anything like that. You had to create that identity from scratch, and obviously with the great help with Dominic Ingle.
Didn't go to college, university, nothing.
No, but how do you stay motivated with your training, your nutrition, like, or do you literally? Is it?
I just
think of who needs you at your best. What do you do?
I need to be a role model for my kids. Every man out there now, and I'm not saying this. I'm not putting myself on a pedestal because I'm not nobody. I'm just Gregg. People that have this perception, if I've left you, if you were a friend or an acquaintance and I've left you, or you feel like you've been dropped, please respect that, because I'm 40-year-old. I've got to level up. I have not got much time left to get to get myself where I need to be to retired, to enjoy the fruits of my labour. So please respect it. Do not see it like I don't care about you. But I have to go my own way now. I've got to soar. So every man out there, I'm not saying this as derogatory, but just look at yourself and just take a good look at yourself and sit back, and when you lay in bed at night, and just think to yourself, am I actually in the healthiest shape? Could I do better? Do I drink too much? What's my lifestyle like? Get your blood checked. What's your cholesterol like? Because if you carry on for 10 years, it's going to rub off. It's going to rub off onto your kids. Your kids, are you the perfect role model to your kids? When you're out and about, when you're friends, and you're having a laugh, and you do whatever you do on a Saturday night, imagine your kids are watching you. Everything that you do, imagine your kids are watching you. I'm not saying don't have fun, but 95% of the time, imagine your kids are watching you. You'd be a different animal. Because you do not want, if anyone's out there now suffering and they're depressed or they're down or they're drinking too much and the diet's bad, do you want that for your son or daughter? Would you like to see your son and daughter in that condition? No, you would not. That's why.
Why do you think people still ignore that? Because
I don't know.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I remember Dom saying when he was on the podcast, you've just echoed exactly what he said in a different format. Dom said he doesn't need to even look down at someone's children when he sees the shape of a father and a mother to even realise the shape of the kid. And look, it's not one thing I always wanted to stress on this podcast, and I believe I've got the right to say this. Life isn't defined by how you look, because I've been the guy that's been ripped on covers and all that stuff and been terribly insecure, fragile, and destructive behaviour patterns. But equally, if you look like a sack of shit, you're not healthy and you're not happy. I don't care what anyone says. Given the choice, give someone a magic pill, they would rip your hand off.
Correct.
Right. But the harsh reality is, most people, as Dom said, most parents, their kids are going to mirror the body shape of you because they're going to follow your habits more than anything else. And
genetically, DNA.
Too. But not only that, but the habits. You know, when you're a kid growing up, I mean, look, I think the only reason I was lean as a kid because I ran around so much and played so much football. But I love my mum and dad to pieces, right? But they didn't have a clue about nutrition. So I ate the same food as my brother and my sister. Love them both dearly,
Yeah.
but my brother and sister are really overweight.
Yeah.
We ate the same food, but I moved more. The only reason that's the only reason I was lean.
We just didn't get fed.
I just
No, we
didn't stop moving. But my point is, like, I would have followed the body shape. Mum and dad love them to pieces, but they're overweight. They're really unhealthy. My dad's got
Yeah.
type 2 diabetes from poor lifestyle choices. So I suppose between the two of us, long-winded way of saying, if you're a parent listening to this or watching this, if you don't want your kids to grow up fat and unhealthy and lacking confidence and energy, be mindful of what you eat. Move more, because
you got to move. You got to move and get up in the morning.
kids are going to copy you.
I can't. There's one thing I can't stand, and I put my head in my hands when I'm saying this. You know, in fact, I've got my thumb and my finger for people listening to this, and I'm grabbing, you know, the tear ducts in my eyes, and I'm saying this. There's one thing I can't stand on planet Earth. There's one thing I can't stand, and that's lazy people.
Yeah.
Lazy in nutrition, lazy in health, lazy in moving, lazy in fitness, lazy in work. I can't do it. I can't get to grips with that. You know, if you just proactive in the morning, when that alarm goes off, I'm reading something there. Don't snooze it. Straight up, boom, change like that. I know it's harder than what people think, but you've got to move. You've got to get out. We didn't get much food when we were young. Excuse me. My mum and dad not got much money, so we were quite rationed. To be fair, it worked in his favour. I've become lean. No, but. My mum and dad, everybody's lean in my family. Mum and dad always try to eat healthy, always health. If you've got two obese parents, and their parents are obese, and so on, you're probably gonna get an obese kid that easily puts weight on, easily. He's gonna find it hard in life. You're gonna give your kid a struggle. Let's try and move away from that. Everybody, let's try and be healthy. I went to Toronto and I seen it were a Nike shop, and this, bless her soul, this woman must have been a size 24 in these leggings on this billboard, and it didn't look right. And I understand there's plus size models, I understand that, but how it was portrayed is like young kids are looking at this and thinking, well, that's all right. Trust me, that is not all right. That size on a blood test is not going to be all right.
Like you said, it's not about the surface level of,
No.
I'm happy with how I look and feel. But these are,
I'm not telling anyone to have a six pack.
You're basically saying this is,
me.
If someone is that overweight, it is highly likely that's going to affect their bloods and the stuff internally, with the stuff that really matters about health, pressure on heart and all these types.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get the phone call at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be 10 to 15 years sooner than it should have been. That's all it is. I'm not. If people are happy out there, it's good. But let's just be mindful. Let's just earn it. Just move and earn your food. That's it. Just earn the treats. My kids eat shit.
Yeah, everyone has their bits and bats. I get it.
I tell them, many people, oh no, they can't have that. They can't have this. Can't have that. Well, you've done it. I feed my kids. I tell my kids that you need to eat this, eat this, eat this. The 3 square meals, eat your greens. I tip the scales in their favour. If you're younger after that, have what you want. The kids. I'm not military with my kids like that. No. I'm not. But let's just tip the scales in our favour.
So what going for all that beating cancer, mate, the ups, the downs. What did you learn about yourself during that period in terms of pushing for adversity? What were the biggest things you had to dig deep with? Yeah.
I have learnt so much more, and this is the gift from analysing people. I've watched other people's make so many bad choices and seen the outcome that I've learnt from other people more than I have myself. That's going to school of life. So many people that have done things, and I think, is that? And I see the consequence. Wow! And the repeated pattern over the years and years and years. Well, I'm not going to do that. And I've learned from other people. Myself, what have I learned? I don't know how people view me. Some people have a really, really high value of themselves, and they walk they walk tall with an ego. Anybody who knows me, well, look at Gregg now. Come on, that's not me. It's not me. I don't walk with an ego.
Well, I
just walk with an air of confidence.
I think the sheer example, testament to that and validation from that point is, Gregg, you could have been in the ring with Tyson Fury when every man and their dog probably would have been like,
nobody knows I did that job.
That was me. That was me. That was me. That was me. That was me.
Nobody knows I did that job, Kirk.
Yeah.
There's another guy who took over after me. I had Tyson Fury phoned me. Ben Davison, I'm here with Tyson now. Can you come to California now? Because we've got a camp with Deontay Wilder. He's fighting. Deontay Wilder, the first one.
Oh, yeah.
I said, Ben, I've got to have an operation on my leg. The worldwide specialist said I can leave it and do this camp. That would have propelled me quicker than what it has done. I think they put me on the map probably a bit better. Health is wealth. I said, Ben, I've got to leave it.
Your health was a number one priority, even though you had, from a professional point of view, you had something that would have elevated your career. And the reason I emphasise that point, and look, everyone has a freedom of choice to do what they want. I don't want to force my way or force your way.
That's not what we're here to do.
But the amount of business owners and entrepreneurs who continually put career aspirations and money, status before their own health, I genuinely believe is staggering.
You're still going to get there. I thought to myself, I've got to have this operation. I'm out for 6 months. I'm out for 6 months. I'm in a wheelchair. I cannot move. I know what's coming. I've done it 3-4 times before. 3 times before. I know what's coming. Ben, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I phoned this guy up. Very, very good. Another good nutritionist, Dave Stasher, says, Dave, do you want Tyson Fury? What? Do you want Tyson Fury? I can't do it. I've got to have this operation. I know I'd bounce back because of my work ethic. It's inevitable. Yeah. You're joking? No, off you go. He moves in with him. Not a problem. I don't care. Then he does a couple of camps with this nutritionist. Then he moves away, gets Sugar Hill, and then he gets another guy called George Lockhart who does his thing. He's a great chef. Works in nutritionist. Works in UFC as a nutritionist. Great nutritionist, and he gets him. And what's very funny is some of the pictures what he'd used from when he was big to how he got. My pictures I took on my phone. I don't mind. I don't care. Yeah. I never come out and said anything, but I thought,
come on.
He knows when he goes to bed at night.
Yeah.
They're not his photos. Yeah. So I don't care what anyone's seen. I know what I've done. I know what I did, and I know that my photos, along with Ben, who babysat him, realistically, only me and Ben on that camp. Yeah. Together in that. Yeah. Everyone else was just a hanger on who didn't know much. Yeah. So hats off to Ben to take as well. You've got to give it Ben Davison for what he did to take that man, because that's a babysitting job. I did it for Kell Brook for Khan for 7 months. I lived on his bedroom floor on a mattress.
Was that for the Kell Brook and Khan fight?
Yes. I said, I've got to live with you.
Yeah, give people a context of that, because I know it's common knowledge with Cal. I mean, look, bless him, he obviously had his troubles recently, and
listen, he's been. It won't mind me saying this. He is now, I think, 6.5 months completely clean.
Amazing,
unreal. He's changed his paradigm. He shifted it. Yeah. And there's a pinnacle point that I won't go into what shifted that, and we've had a conversation, and I get emotional when I hear about that, because I understand, not on the abuse that he's had, but it's the same wavelength where I've been dark. Yeah. Where it takes you, and the mindset that you have to get out of it. Yeah. So it's emotional when I do speak to him about this. So it was June, and he was supposed to fight in December. I said, right, let's go for it. We're going to do this.
This was ahead of the Khan fight, yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to need a long time because you're older, injury prone, you're heavy. We need to do this. Yeah. Moved in within in June. Don't get me a bed, just get me a mattress from Dunelm Mill. 100 quid on floor, done. I got up in the morning. I fed him the coffee, give him the coffee in his bedroom. I treat him like a king because it was his last fight. Yeah. Let's go for it, Kel. And he loved it. He lapped it up. It was almost like a bit of a joke. Yeah, Kel, your coffee in the morning and your supplements and your vitamin C's, all that. And it was going, he's going, tucking himself in and loving it. You know, I don't want to drive to the gym. I can't drive to the gym. I've got work to do. I had to drive into the gym and back. I couldn't really train. I couldn't really do much. I could eat, but taking myself out of the gym, I had to be in 24 hours a day. Yeah. I had to be. Yeah. I had to know that he wasn't cheating. I had to know that to get him to the point that he needed to be, I had to live with him.
But that's what people don't understand. I remember speaking
Everywhere
to
he
Dom
went.
about this as well. The amount of that you and Dominic Dingle have given up for boxers that people don't see, even when you've got your own families.
Away.
I mean, am I right in saying? I'm sure Dom said you were in Spain for a number of months.
9 weeks.
Yeah,
9 weeks
without
in
family.
Fuerteventura, without
Was
family.
that over
without
Christmas,
anything.
if I heard correctly, or something like that?
New Year, Christmas, New Year.
Yeah.
I will, and it's. But people say you must be mad. You must be an idiot doing that. No, because I've had in any walk of life you have to earn your stripes.
Mm-hmm.
I took so much shit in boxing from people bullying me, doing this and saying this and doing that, and I thought, just like on the building site, here I am picking dog shit up. But I'm gonna don't worry, because I know where I'm going. I see the vision. So all you laughing down at me, it's not a problem. I don't even hate you. I just feel sorry for you that you're up there and you're having to do this with someone like me. And I worked my way up and I earned my stripes and I went on camp for 9 weeks and I didn't break and it was mentally hard and they tried to break me and I kept it together. I had injury. I had a torn pec. On Billy Joe camp for Murray fight. I was in the gym in Fuerteventura and my pec completely snapped up and ruptured. I was training like a beast. It ruptured. It's just one of those things. It was a little injury. It snapped. I slinged it up and carried on cooking and carried on there for a further 5 weeks. Went home and couldn't have the operation because I left it for too long.
Shit. Yeah.
Still done now.
Yeah.
Because I knew what it took to get him into that ring for Martin Murray. To move on to Canelo. Yeah. If that is the length that I'm going to as a nutritionist, forget being a nutritionist, that I'm going to get you to where you want to be. Yeah. Where's your mindset? Yeah. Please don't give me 99%. Yeah. Please don't. Yeah. Because a good analogy I said to my son the other day, son, you want to make it as a footballer, how much do you think you're giving at the minute? How much do you think you're giving? He went, 60%. I says, no, I'll disagree with that. I'll give you some more. Because he's a beast. Absolute beast. I'm trying to get him to do what academy players do now on the back garden. I'm trying to get that still into him. Yeah. He's only young. I says, all right, if I was saying to you, there's a 60% chance I'm going to buy you a McDonald's, would you go in your bedroom and think, we're definitely having one? He went, well, not really. I says, exactly. So if you know you're on 60 or 70% doing something, are you really going to get to your goal? Give me 100%. I'm giving you my whole self as a cook, as a cleaner, as a professional nutritionist. How much would it cost to get a professional nutritionist who, I don't very much said this, but I'm on one, who's very good at his job, a personal chef, a cleaner, a motivator, and a class clown to play guitar and do whatever you want to do and do this for me, do that for me. Come on. I'm bringing the whole package. Don't give me 99%. Yeah. That's what I can't get to grips with. I'm giving everything. Yeah. And I'm doing it just to earn my stripes. I'm doing it to earn my stripes. Do you know, I was on Sean Porter camp for Kel. I'll admit, I was on Sean Porter camp for Kel. And they give me a little bonus when he won. But the conditions was, you prove yourself on this camp. I went, you're joking. Prove yourself on this camp. Do you know how much I got a week? Go on. I was in Fuerteventura. World title fight, Kell Brook. Guess how much? And this is not degrading down Kell Brook at all.
1,000?
£125 a week.
Okay, now.
Do you know why? Because they didn't believe in me. So they set the price probably that low. So I wouldn't do it. I went, I'll do that. Watch this. Watch this space. I got paid. When they sold the job, I got paid well after. Yes. But I knew the investment. Yeah. I knew from being, let's use the analogy, depressed in the no-win situation to the thought, no, I know where I'm going. Look what happened. Yeah. You think your way out of anything. Yeah. Trust me. I earned my strive. I've given 100% of my whole entire soul. To earn my stripes.
And there's just so many people just.
That's where I am today.
And people want things handed on a plate, whether you're in business, whether you're with
That's the podcast. That's where I am today, from literally 0 to 100.
And your message to everyone is it's never too late to start.
Never, ever, ever too late to start.
Yeah.
You can think your way out of health. You can think your way out of anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely anything.
Yeah.
And that's a big stress. You see a lot of people, on Instagrams, and they're doing these motivational different things, and everyone listens to a bit of motivation, and that's a right good clip, and they'll put it on their Instagram. Please don't do that if you're not living it.
Just don't bullshit yourself.
Oh, come on. Be real to yourself. Don't put something on. Just don't put anything on. You'll sometimes see me on Instagram. I need someone to look after it. You'll see me just fade away. And I won't put anything on for 3 weeks because I'm growing. I'm working in silence. So I have to be away from people to work in silence to grow. I'm taking myself to the next level. So my friends out there who thinks I've dropped them or left them or, oh, you're too big for me in action boxing. I'm not.
No, but also as well,
I've just got to grow.
And it sounds like you're just so dedicated to the people you invest in, whether it's your kids, your missus, your business, your clients, and you can't fluke your way to exceptional results.
Just be around like-minded people, great people. I couldn't wait to get down here today just to be in the vicinity of Kirk Miller. When his name comes up on my screen, there's something about his name, I know this might sound stupidly corny. It's like a brand. It's like Kirk Miller. I'm like, whoa, Kirk's funny. You've got to stop. I've got to speak to Kirk. And just being around your energy, and just how I know that I've not even heard half of your story really. You've touched on things, but just as a full-on friendship that's going to go on for many years. That I just know that being around you is just so positive. If you want to change, just look at yourself. There's a famous saying: "Show me your friends, and I'll show you the rest of your life." And it's so true. And it's so true. And the people who say, "No, no, rubbish," that's because they're scared. Don't ever have fear about where you're going to go.
Amazing. I've got a few questions, mate, to wrap this up. Just a few quick fire questions, mate. Some are boxing, some are personal. Okay, so we'll keep this as tight as possible because I know the
bra size,
No, I know the studio are going to tell me off if I've gone too long. Just give me a few more minutes, boss. You talk about the influence of being around the right people, and I'm very grateful for the kind words you've just said because I echo that entirely. There's no way I would be where I am today or have the confidence that I can go to new levels if it wasn't for certain people in my life.
Yeah.
Okay. How important was Dominic Ingle in your journey as a mentor, a friend, someone to lean on, at different moments?
Massive. I mean, he's 15 years older than me. You can't beat that experience. Dominic is a very sharp character. He's Lamar Mike. I love him or you hate him. That's how he is. He comes across, and everybody will know what I'm saying when I do this. Just because I have a friend in somebody and someone else doesn't like him, that doesn't mean that I'm the enemy. You can sit down with dinner and have the biggest criminal on planet Earth sat across from you, and everybody can hate him, but you might pick something up unbelievable. His table manners might be impeccable. You take that away with you. That's the one thing you take away from you, with you, that's great with him. So just because other people might frown upon, well, that's not right, this is not right, and it does happen. When you're successful, people are going to try and shoot you down. How pivotal was he for me? Unreal. Took me under his wing. You'll be all right. Stick with me, you'll be all right. He showed me, he gave me the grain of sand. And not a lot of people do that in this life. And not a lot of people do it. And through no gain for himself, give me that grain of sand, and I built a beach. And now, only now, are we feel like we're on the same level as respect. You know what, Gregg? You earned your stripes. And it was hard. He was very cruel to me. Very cruel. And a lot of people were like, he's been a bit of a dick to you there. But I've had very, 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 very many life experience where people have been dicks, and I've seen it when it's malice, and I've seen it where it's like, I think this is a lesson. Because don't forget, it comes from the old school from Brendan. Brendan was the same. It was so harsh. If you don't like it, then fuck off. And obviously, Dominic comes through that way. But I understand, because I understood the character. This is a lesson. I've just got to do this. So, yeah, massively.
100%, because I think with Dom, I mean, great leaders want to make other people better. And Dom is just someone who tells the truth. So even though there might be some people who don't know him, and oh, he's just saying things to be controversial. Is he fuck? He's just telling things. He just tells the truth as it is, and
As
that's
it
it.
is.
And great leaders make other people leaders.
Yeah.
And no, he's a monster, mate. He really is. Biggest nutrition myth. What is that from your experience? Biggest myth that you think people focus on, or just the biggest bullshit? I know there's
No,
lots,
no, no,
but
no. What's come
what
to
do you
me?
think is just something that people just shouldn't be focusing on, or is just the biggest load of horse shit you've seen on socials? Just what is the thing that people waste time with on nutrition they shouldn't?
Cutting carbs.
Yeah.
How many people? And this is probably for ladies out there. Please do not cut carbs. Please do not cut carbs. I'm not saying if you don't do anything all day, be mindful of what you're doing, but do not cut carbs. I see so many women and they say, "Oh, how to get rid of these bingo wings and this and that," because you're having no carb in your system. Your metabolism's burn out. Your fire's out. You've got to have the fuel source is carb. Unless you're doing, a keto diet, or your high fat diet, or you're doing it for a precursor to diabetes, something just short term or even long term. Just don't cut carbs, and don't be too conscious about counting calories when you first start out. There's so much information out there, so many supplements. What do I do? It's a minefield. Just be mindful of what you're eating. We're not daft. We know a burger and chips is not good. Be mindful. If you're hungry in the day, your belly tells you you're hungry for a reason. So you need food. It don't mean that you need a bourbon, does it?
Yeah.
I know we have sugar crashes,
Yeah.
but go for healthy sources of food.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Please don't calorie count when you're first starting out, because you'll fail. Just be mindful of choices, and ladies, do not cut the carb out completely. You do that for longer than 2 or 3 weeks,
if you're lucky, I say it all the time.
and then you become carb conscious.
Yeah. I say it all the time, Greg. You can't have energy out without energy in, and to do that, you need energy in the form of carbs to then utilize, and it's a much more sustainable way to get in shape.
You're not going to put fat on.
Yeah,
it's not 3,500 calories of what?
100%. And then some boxing, just a boxing one to wrap us up, mate. What's the most fucked up story, or what's the most thing? It could be someone famous or not, but just what is the most thing you just thought, fucking hell, that was a mad experience, or just the most stupidest thing, or just something maybe boxing fans would love to know?
Probably on camp in Port Ventura. There's a hire car that this guy really, really loves all the boxers, and he'll do anything for you. He'll do anything for you. Just wants to be a part of boxing.
Yeah.
Such a great gentleman.
Yeah.
Has a hire car. This boxer says, "Can I lend that hire car, please?" Not a problem. Oh my God. It was like an off-road Jeep Safari. On the beach, right, going on the beach, getting it stuck in the water, having to push it out. This is late night. All the Guardia come, all the police came, everything. We're in this villa. All the lights are off.
Yeah.
Some people on top of the roof, and I'm under the table, with lights off, torches going in, thinking I'm going to get done. I'm going to get what's going off, and then rocks get pelted at.
What do you mean?
Rocks get pelted at the police car and different things. Oh, no, not rocks. Eggs. Because we've got, listen, I eat like 10 eggs a day. So we've got unlimited supply of eggs in the house, just launching, just going crazy. And then my phone goes, and it one of people in Fort Ventura. Great. Why are you hiding under tape?
What happened?
Why are you hiding under tape? They can see. So I had to open the door, and they thought it was me. They thought that apparently a bold man had been driving this car on beach. Like, never in a million years was it me. But that's what happened, and they were gonna lock me up and do all sorts of things. And
who was it? Was it a boxer?
Fire a boxer, of course it were. Who do you think it is? I'm gonna leave that to the imagination, but it's someone who I've worked with. It's insane. I promise you, that is a daily thing.
Was that
the next day? There's something else.
Was that certain person under the influence of alcohol potentially?
Oh God, no. God, no. This is no alcohol whatsoever.
Just mental.
It makes camp. It makes camp. It really does. But some of the stories, that's just one of them. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Okay, mate. I'm conscious of time, mate.
Okay.
We'll have to bring you on again. Where can people find you? Where can people find you on socials?
Yeah, Instagram. We've got something in pipeline. I've said it for a long time, but it does take quite a long time to get things from foundation built up so they're ready and active as a full scale than just bits and bats. So we've got something, a big nutrition program, fully accessible for worldwide. That's going to be launched. Get me on Instagram, the Nutritionist, Marriott Nutrition. A lot of things happening. So, and obviously you see me around. I pop here, I pop up in here there on side at ring sometimes. But
And 100%, definitely check him out. As I said, there's a lot of people who talk the talk when it comes to nutrition and coaching and stuff like that. But listen, proof's in the pudding, and hopefully, not hopefully, I'm sure you're inspired by the backstory. And I think the key thing that stands out for me, Greg, with you, what's helped propel you quicker than the average coach, to say the least, is just the attention to detail. And
correct.
you don't let people down. You're reliable, and
That's it.
if you do something, you see it through to the end. And it's no coincidence that these opportunities have happened. And more importantly, you've magnetized people into your life that have helped move you forward. So, and
This is just a start, Kirk.
and you've done that without compromising family. And I know we spoke a lot about nutrition and all this stuff, but I'm not lucky enough to be a parent just yet. But dude, man, you're a great parent, great partner, mate, and you've never contradicted your values to push your way up the ladder in anything. It's
appreciate that
testament, mate. And he's a savage. You said some kind words about me, but you are one funny bastard, mate.
Can I just say one thing? I don't even believe I've achieved anything hard yet in my life. That's the mindset. I honestly, right now, I feel like I'm sat in that chair, like I'm going to change my life. I've got that buzz again to go even further. That's how I am.
I've no doubt about it, mate. You'll definitely achieve that. So, guys, please check Gregg out, and I will see you next time.